I thought we'd continue the chronicles of the 25-gallon tank, the Guppy Inler tank. That also is a corridor throw-out tank. Yeah, I'm Mitch, this is Scruffy City Aquatics. I had a busy weekend this past weekend. Some of it had to do with the 25-gallon. Some of it had to do with getting the 75-gallon ready for this week's live stream, which will be about the 75-gallon. So if you've been missing content from the 75-gallon, that's coming. But yeah, I had a lot of stuff going on, so I thought I'd talk about that in this week's video and share some of the experiences and things going on over here. This tank really doesn't lend itself well to filming. There's always a glare because it's across the room from windows, and so I've always got glare on it that bothers me. Maybe I should try to record these later, but this is the time when my family's not around, and the only thing making a lot of noise and interrupting me is the dog, who's at my feet right now trying to get me to play with him. Yeah, so this is when this is happening. This past weekend, one of my favorite local stores, Aquatic Marine, had a special sale going on because the owner had a birthday. And so they put livestock and plants on sale 20% off. I think it was 20% off. Yeah, it was 20% off. And they had a lot of other stuff going on. They had snow cones. They have another business venture they're moving into with merchandise. So they had that set up. And then there was like a sushi truck there. A lot of fun. There was a lot of stuff going on. They had balloons, cake. It was a great time. I took the family. We went and enjoyed ourselves. Now, I went knowing plants were on sale. So there was a pretty good chance I was going to walk out with some plants. There was also some guppies that I saw in there recently. I made a short with about these guppies, just how they were tempting me. So had they been there, I was considering getting some new guppies. I don't really have a quarantine tank at the moment because the 10-gallon went down so that the 25-gallon could go up. But I was willing to maybe put these in some totes or in a tote and go through the quarantine process that way. I was considering it. Would have been the first time that I'd done it. Maybe it would have made a good video. Maybe it would have been disastrous. I was considering it. I needed some food, so I knew I needed to get that. I was going to pick up some extreme scrappers. Somebody called them scrapers the other day. Scrappers. I call them scrappers. Is it scrappers or scrapers? Comment below. I'd like to know. Scrappers or scrapers? I don't know. Scrappers. Anyway. So of course we walked around the store and checked out what they had in stock and just kind of looked around. There was some really cool fish in the store that I hadn't seen there previously. We never make it over to the saltwater section, so no footage of that. Very little footage anyway of the freshwater section, but just a few fish that I thought were neat that, if I had this tank space, I'd probably consider getting. They also had some mud skippers in the tank, and these were really, really cool. I didn't get a lot of footage of them moving around just because I had the kids with me, and they kept wanting me to look at different stuff and things like that. So probably ought to go sometime when I'm on my own and just kind of film around the store. That would be fun. I know Fish Room Fever does that from time to time from Aquatic Marine. So maybe we do that. Maybe that's kind of like my practice grounds for recording in public because it's still odd for me. I was filming at one point and somebody came up and started talking to me and I was like, oh God, yeah. And just trying to play it off that I wasn't filming the tanks, but there was no need in it. I didn't have to do that. I'm just awkward. One of the first tanks that we saw was full of shrimp, and I love my red cherry shrimp, and I'd like to keep shrimp in every tank, and I have plenty of red cherries to move over. And last week I was thinking I'd move some red cherry shrimp over this weekend to the 25-gallon. I wanted to do another water change before I did that. While we were there, I noticed they had some blue dream shrimp, and I've never kept anything other than red shrimp, red cherries. So yeah, I was thinking maybe I might do that. And as soon as I said it, the girls were excited because these blues were really bright, really colorful, and they just looked amazing. And yeah, I could do different types of shrimp. And now that I'm thinking about doing the 3, which will, I'll have 4 tanks, maybe the 25 gets set up someplace else, and I have 5 tanks. And the girls are wanting tanks. I got plenty of room for different types of shrimp. So we decided to go with the blue dream cherry, they're not cherry shrimp, the blue dream shrimp. And so we grabbed a trio. I think they were young. So I think I got a male and 2 females. So hopefully we get a colony going. Now this tank, this 25 gallon, the last time I had it set up, when I tore it down and I took all the red cherries out of it, I had over 100 red cherry shrimp in this tank. And they went over to the 75 gallon. I don't know how many are in the 75 gallon. It's kind of hard to tell because there's so many plants. This is still kind of growing in, and I don't have anything too permanent in this tank because I don't know how long it'll be set up. I did look at some rocks to maybe put some rocks in it, which I love watching the shrimp on rocks. But I can't decide what kind of rocks to put in this 25 gallon. Maybe that's something you all can help me with. What do you see? I know people like dragonstone, and I do like dragonstone, but I don't know that it's what I want in this tank. I am thinking about putting some dragonstone in the 75 gallon. It needs some rock. It's got river rock in it, and that's really not working for it. I think I'm gonna put something else. I can't decide what. There's not a lot of gray, and a lot of the rocks I like are gray. Do gray rocks look good with a brown substrate? I mean, I've got pebbles in the 75 gallon, and they're mostly browns and whites and cream colors, tans, things like that. There's a little bit of gray in it, so I might be able to pull it off. Maybe we'll talk about that during the live stream. But on this tank, you see goldish, brown creams down here. Dragonstone would look good. What else would look good? What do you think? Maybe I need to get some rock to put in here. Also, I have not trimmed that Amazon sword this weekend, and I totally meant to when I did the water change. I had so much going on and got into a movie, which the water is to the lid right now in this tank. I probably should drain some of it out, but I didn't. It really is like, if you look at the surface, there is water against the lid. I didn't overflow it. I didn't get any in the floor, but we got close. Jurassic World Dominion. Better than I thought it would be. That's not what this video is about, but better than I thought it would be. So we got the 3 shrimp, the Blue Dreams. We got the food. I also got a background for the 25 gallon. Now I do eventually want to paint this tank. I wish I had painted the 75. It has a similar style of background on it. Wish I'd painted it. I will paint whatever I put in this area, whether they are 20 longs or 40s. Still trying to decide. Pros and cons for each. I don't know what I'm doing. I can get the wood now for the stand if I just know what I'm doing. Comment below. 20 longs or 40s. I don't have a lot of space. 40s are a little deep. I like the 20 longs because they're not as deep. Makes it a little bit easier on plants for me. One thing that does kind of concern me with these shrimp, as you look at that footage, is the blues and the red cherries and the orange were all in the same tank. Now, they were all young, especially the blues. I know those shrimp can interbreed, right? And mix, and you lose the colors. I had credit at this fish store, so I didn't actually pay any cash for these shrimp. They were credit that I used for blackworms and some plants and stuff like that. But I wanted these shrimp, and they look great. But is there a chance that the first few shrimplets that I get, I'm going to have to cull through in order to get rid of stuff that's not blue? Is that a thing? And with these shrimp being as young as they are, is that possible? I mean, they're kind of hard to sex. I'm not completely sure that I have a male. I may have 3 females, and they may have all kinds of different colors come out. I don't know. I wish they had been separated, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they were fine. Maybe there was no issue there. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see what happens as they start to have shrimplets. Really hope they're just blue and I don't have to worry about it, but I may have to cull some, which I'll take to my club and give out and just let people have. We've had people bring in mixed shrimp before, and so people took them, people love them. I just want to keep them blue. I want to keep my reds over there, my blues over here, eventually some orange. They also had some blue Rillies that had I seen before I got the Blue Dreams, I probably would have gone with those. Saw them too late though. We had a lot of stuff going on. We had actually planned on going to Pigeon Forge to go eat at downtown Flavortown. Didn't realize there was a rod run, couldn't get up there. They were booked out until 8 p.m. the next day on reservations. Didn't happen. We ended up going to another place. I'll talk about that just briefly, if that's okay. Are you all okay with that? Anyway, I put them in here, acclimated the shrimp, got the background on, put the food in the fridge, and we had to leave. So once I got this, I gave the shrimp enough time to acclimate, then they went in, and everything went smooth with that. Mostly, I had one get stuck, but no big issues. They got in there. I counted them, made sure all 3 made it into the tank before we left, and we went up to this adventure that was a disaster. Not really. We ended up at Trotter's Whole Hog, which is in downtown Sevierville. And if you ever go to Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, downtown Sevierville, you drive right next to it. Like, you are seconds from where this is located, but you never know it was there unless someone told you. If you're in the area and you like barbecue, Trotter's Whole Hog, 2 thumbs up, highly recommend it. You should check it out. Not sponsored, just loved it. Fun experience. A little bit of footage here, if I may, if you will allow. It was a good time. Family had a good time, and so we came back later that evening. I got some more footage of the shrimp. It took me a little while to find them. I have one that really enjoys hanging out up here in the glare, in the floating plants, and so I always find, and I believe it's him. I always find him up here, and so I got some footage of that, looking down and all of that. Looks good. He's probably the darker of the 3. And then the 2, what I believe are both females, are hanging out in the moss. And they are always down in the moss. I have a hard time finding them. They're staying deep in that moss, which is cool with me. I want them to stay protected. I want them to be happy. I want them to have shrimplets. And then eventually I'll have enough to where I see them all over the tank and I'll be happy. So they're doing well right now. I'm really enjoying having them. I've only had them a couple of days, but I've enjoyed watching them. I can't wait till they're all over the place and I can really enjoy them. I really hope they stay blue and I don't have to go through. I don't know. I would imagine with shrimp, it's not like live bears. I've only ever kept my reds and I've not cared. But I would imagine I would just get like 1 clutch of eggs that would be mixed if that happens. But I really feel like they're too young for that. I think I've got a little bit of time before I would see them have eggs. If I've already got fertilized eggs, then I might worry a little bit, but not a lot. I'm sure I'm fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Like I said, I did a water change on this tank this weekend, so you can see it's not as cloudy. Still a little cloudier than I would like, to be honest, but we'll get there. It just takes time. This tank is new. The substrate's new. The plants have all been in my tanks for a long time, or in the pond. And then the filter's been running for years, actually, probably over 2 years now, as a quarantine tank and as a grow-out tank. It's been running several months as a grow-out tank because this is my 3rd batch of green cories in here. So, it's good. All the parameters keep showing up good. You may be able to hear, because I'm right next to it, you may be able to hear the bubbles that I'm getting off this tank. This did not happen until I put that gravel from Walmart in the tank. But once I did that, I started getting bubbles. So something is coming off that gravel and creating bubbles. Not only that, I put some of this water in with the 75-gallon water that I pulled out. And then I topped off the pond with it, so the pond has bubbles. Nothing's died, nothing's been sick. The plants all look healthy. Everything seems to be going well, but I have lots and lots of bubbles. It is less now that I've done the water change. So after a few more water changes, maybe a couple, I think it'll be okay. But I don't know. I got bubbles. No ammonia. I don't smell ammonia. I've tested for ammonia. Nitrates are somewhere around 10, somewhere between 5 and 10. I don't think it's over 10. And I am dosing some fertilizer in here. I'd really like to see this Java fern look better, and I'd like to see the Java moss do better. And then, of course, I've got the pothos out the top that's growing already. That, if I have any ammonia, I feel like the pothos does a pretty good job of taking care of that. The anacris, I did it. The anacris also does a pretty good job with ammonia, from what I understand. So lots of buffers here to keep things in line. And, I'm enjoying it, enjoying having the other tank. I can't wait to get the 3 set up. I just got to decide what I'm going to put over here, 40s or 20 longs. What do you think? 40s, 20 longs? Pros and cons? You want to tell me some pros and cons? You can do that in the comments. That would be awesome. Some pros and cons. Before I go, I do want to remind you we're getting closer and closer to the East Tennessee Aquatic Association's fall swap. That's coming up in Knoxville. You can check that out. I'll put a link in the description. It's a fun time. I was looking at our floor plan this morning, and we have 18 tables booked. That's paid for. They're coming booked. We also figure we've got room for at least 3 more, maybe some half tables. We have sold some half tables, which is cool because we can fit a few more vendors, we'll call them vendors, in the space. And I think that's it. I think that's everything. October 8th, that's our fish swap, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun time. Come check it out. So that's it for this video. I appreciate you watching and just kind of following along as things change here for me, and the dog knocks things over. Stop, Bentley. So I'll be sharing about the blue shrimp. I've got a few more things that I'm probably going to do with the green cories, and these guppies. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Still deciding, because I'm seeing some guppies that I really, really like. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Guppy endlers, they're here to stay for right now. We love them in the pond. They're going to be here for the year. We'll chronicle tons of fry. So much fry going on in this tank. It's crazy. I need that moss to grow. I need it to grow like crazy, so I've been dosing, like I said earlier. But anyway, like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. I appreciate every one of you who are watching the videos, and especially those of you who are commenting. I try to comment as soon as I can. Usually within the first 24 hours, I'm responding to comments. And, small channel still, so it's pretty easy to do. If you've got any questions or just want to chat, do it. Hit that comment, throw something out there. Let me know. 20 longs or 40s. Let me know what kind of rock. Let's talk. Let's have fun. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for being here. Enjoy your tanks and stay scruffy. I should really write this stuff out. That was a bad idea. You okay? Did that scare you? I thought we'd continue the chronicle. Oh, I gotta look at the camera. I thought we'd. Oh wait, I don't have my.